Ba-bing!
Bada bing!
We're live.
Hey, y'all. It's PB Monday. Woo! It's January, new year. It's time to get a little bit healthier. We're going to start off with some clean eating this month. So we're going to start the year strong. We're going to burn through some calories. We got our bicycles on the road. We've got
all the New Year's resolutions.
Yep, all your New Year's resolutions up to date, peoples?
Hopefully not broken yet.
I don't know who thought of dry January.
Oh.
But
boring.
Smack them.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Forget that. So we've got basically, how are you going to use your kale?
Right.
And this is the easiest way to utilize everything and not waste anything.
Right.
So when you're doing your meal prep at home, if you're wanting to save some time during the week and have some munchy snacks, things like that, then let's start with some fresh kale. I got some at the farmer's market. Johnny got some out of his garden.
Yeah.
And we are going to make a couple of things here. Let me show you right now. We've got the kale sauteing in some olive oil, and then I'm going to add a couple more things to that. And Johnny is setting up his saute pan, and we're going to show you what to do with the stems. The kale stems don't necessarily have to go in your compost. You certainly don't want them in your trash.
Right.
So let's utilize everything that we can, along with everything that we can keep out of the landfills.
Right.
Right on?
Yeah.
So
composting is always good, but hey,
yes.
You can use it, why not?
Yes. So let's work on this. I'll let Johnny talk you through what he's putting in the saute pan there for you.
All right, so I've got basically some sauteing onions with some oil, a little bit of hot sauce, a little bit of maple syrup. Gonna throw some soy sauce. Thank you. Throw a little soy sauce in there. We're making a sweet and sour dish here. So, red pepper flakes.
Woohoo! All right, so this is sweet and sour, but there's going to be some heat involved in this.
Oh, yeah.
Some of us really like heat. Some of us not so much.
Kale stems, very high in iron. Get that iron, and that is good. But you're going to mix all of that around, let it sit in the heat for a couple minutes here. You want to still have a little bit of a crunch, but also get a little cook on. And then you're going to throw some salt on there. Just mix it about. Let that cook on medium-high heat for just a few minutes here.
Here we go. In the meantime, in the back skillet, we have sauteed kale. And what we have here is some ginger olive oil from a local olive company. And then we have fresh garlic and some Dijon mustard. We're going to add that into our skillet. The Dijon mustard gives you a little bit of acidity. And that sometimes is good for every once in a while. Kale can be a little bit bitter. So for those of us that don't really like the bitterness, put a little bit of the Grey Poupon in there.
Grey Poupon.
Yeah.
Do you remember those commercials? Excuse me.
Pardon me.
Do you have any Grey Poupon?
Pardon me. Do you happen to have any Grey Poupon? Those are always fun.
Oh, yeah.
To look back on. Some of the funniest food commercials ever.
Yes.
Because I guess you had to ride in a Rolls Royce in order to afford Grey Poupon.
Right, apparently.
Apparently. So some of us, not so much. So what I do is I get the skillet really hot with the olive oil, and it really does not take much. I only put maybe 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and this is a half a head of kale. So a half of a bunch of kale.
It really cooks down. a lot
Yeah,
like
it
spinach.
really does. And then you just kind of, now I don't cook it until it gets completely like collard green, soft and mushy. What I do is cook it to where there's still just a slight bite to it,
A little bit of
a
crispy.
little bit of crunch, and then that mustard, and then the garlic, and then there's ginger in my olive oil. So all of this. So now you've got a great bed. You could throw some quinoa,
Yep.
some sauteed kale.
Yeah.
Um,
All kinds of stuff.
yeah, you've got asparagus, some broccoli. You've got a whole meal that if you make it in the right amount,
Right.
you can literally have 2 or 3 meals for it.
Yeah. If you've got a sweet tooth, maybe chop up some apples or something.
Oh, yeah.
Possibilities are endless.
They are, aren't they?
They really are. So most of the liquid is kind of cooked off here, so this is pretty well set.
Cool. I think mine is right about where I like it as far as the crispness and the color on the kale.
Mm-hmm.
If you leave it on too long, you may burn your garlic. You definitely don't want to do that.
Don't burn the garlic.
Yeah, don't burn the garlic. Your skillet does not need to be fire engine hot.
Fire engine hot.
Yeah, it really just kind of needs to be a little bit more than medium and get that kale hot all the way through.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Perfect. So here we have some sweet and sour kale, and we have some sauteed kale, and now we've utilized everything that we can from one bunch of kale.
One bunch of kale.
Yep, we've used one bunch of kale, some olive oil. We used maybe a quarter of yellow onion, diced very small.
Yep.
Put that in with your sauteed stems. And you've got the soy sauce. You've got some really good maple syrup.
Mm-hmm. Hot sauce.
Yep, you've got some sriracha hot sauce. You've got soy sauce. Did I say that? I don't know if I did.
A little bit of salt. Some crushed
Tiny
red
bit of
pepper.
salt, only because I use salt-free on the soy sauce, so I add a
okay.
little bit of salt. Otherwise, you may want to taste it because you may have a little bit too much salt. And the kale is fresh minced garlic, a half of a tablespoon of Grey Poupon, some ginger olive oil, and you've got side dish, you've got a really good snack.
Yeah.
I mean, you keep that in a bowl in the refrigerator.
People just throw some chips.
Yeah, that's a
snack.
really good snack.
Speaking of which, I'm going to try a little bit of this.
There you go.
Mmm.
That's
That
good.
mustard really busted out.
It does.
Awesome.
It's the acidity. And if you are, like at home, I'll keep red wine vinegar in a tiny bottle on the table. You can drizzle just a tiny bit of that, but with the Grey Poupon, you really don't need it.
Right.
And you don't want a wet, soggy kale.
A little bit of crispness to it, yeah.
Yeah, you want it to look good on the plate. Everybody eats with their eyes first.
Exactly.
Everybody.
Exactly.
So let's start off January super clean. And we're going to go right into February, and we will see you the second Monday of February. Peace out.
See y'all.
There we go.